Despite increasing inflation, the threat of 2 more rate increases, the markets are rallying. At the core of that rally is an obsession with artificial intelligence. The main markets are pushing into extreme greed territory. Literally, there are call options everywhere. That is, investors and traders and speculators expect to go long and to make a killing. That level of extreme greed is pushing the VIX down to levels we've not seen in a long time. Extreme greed turns the markets green. All sectors came up in the last trading session. Will this bullish momentum continue and the extreme greed continue to climb? Stay tuned, it's going to be a fantastic video. Welcome to the Daily Show, and if you're new, a very warm welcome, and welcome back CTKS family. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and press the bell notification so you don't miss a thing. Let's run the numbers. Fundamental factors are always important. That's why we look at economic data. But the key to understand, even with economic data, if something comes out, it doesn't mean it will impact the markets in that second. We can see the Spanish CPI, the Consumer Price Index, came in hotter than anticipated. There was good news on the USD GDP front. Gross domestic product increased way more than people anticipated. The labour market continues to be very strong, with fewer unemployment claims than were anticipated, 239,000 versus the expected 264,000. There was an improvement in the European CPI inflation rate, and the US core PCE price index came in as anticipated. Overall, consumer sentiment was more bullish than anticipated previously. In the past trading session, we saw the S&P 500 absolutely jump. It was a very strong day inside financial markets. As traders and investors, it's very important to be aware, where is the price structure present inside a market? And when we saw the S&P 500 recently bounce from a raft of smart money support levels, we saw it gravitationally attracted to this smart money resistance level around that 44.39 mark. It's just making its way up, and it's doing incredibly well. There's so much excessive optimism inside the main markets at the current time. We saw a similar jump in the Nasdaq. When extreme greed is in the market, it's easy to make money because basically everything is going up, and that's what we're seeing at the moment. There's a very big difference in thinking between retail investors and traders and smart money or professional investors and traders. Smart money knows that price moves in waves, and when we look at the VIX, the fear gauge of the market, it is starting to turn around. This is something that we need to keep our eye on. When prices are rallying, people take their dollars and they convert it into ownership, stocks, equity, or other investments such as crypto. That means they don't want dollars, they want to sell them. Money is always chasing an increased yield. If people get concerned about economic downturns, they frequently allocate a percentage of their portfolio into gold. Or it could be silver. We can see, looking at the main markets, the VIX is starting to form a base. Junk bonds are indicating a lot of risk-on activity. Bitcoin has just been exploding recently and had a little bit of a minor pullback. We'll look at that in a few moments. The Nasdaq is breaking out, but just bear in mind, these major indices are a long way away from a mean reversion state. What does that mean? Extreme greed overextends price action. Gold benefited from the DXY and yields slightly coming down. It was a really fun day in the crypto market in the past 24 hours. We saw Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash rally. And members of the CTKS method monthly service, I updated the Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin indicators as they were going nuts. The indicator will work automatically. You just need to refresh your page. I was pretty active on Twitter as Bitcoin was trying to break the 31,000 and 31,200 mark, but it didn't work. The favorite villain of the crypto industry is Gary Gensler, and he's actually putting the US behind the UK, and I'll explain how he's doing that in a moment. The SEC informed the Nasdaq and the CBOE that the ETF paperwork application forms were not sufficiently clear and comprehensive with regard to the surveillance sharing agreements, including which spot Bitcoin exchange would be used. In the wake of that, Fidelity led a flurry of Bitcoin ETF refilings to answer the SEC. According to Blockware Solutions, the global percentage of the population using Bitcoin is incredibly low. We can absolutely see a raft of institutional adoption occurring, and we're in this early adopters stage. We're very, very early. Things can get really choppy in the early days. What was the reaction to the SEC's request for more information? Fidelity and other Bitcoin ETF applications refiled by the CBOE to the SEC. There was an absolute flurry of activity. How did they fix the problem? They said Coinbase will do it. As Gary Gensler and the SEC tries to destroy crypto's chance in the US, the UK is stepping up and saying, "Don't worry, we'll take care of it." Under royal assent from King Charles, the Financial Services and Markets Act of 2023 was passed into law. The US made itself an incredible superpower by adopting innovation and invention. At one stage, the British Empire spanned the globe. It was the most powerful empire until the US took over. The British Empire fell in terms of power to the USA because it failed to adopt innovation and invention. The current UK Prime Minister is young, is tech-savvy, and wants to own the future. It wants to make the UK great again. Digital currencies are the future, and the existing establishment doesn't like that, but that's not going to stop digital currencies. New technology is always viewed as a threat because it creates a lot of change. Change is a problem because it requires losing something to gain something else. In innovation and invention theory, one technology always gives way to the next one. These transition periods, they're not easy to go through, but it's inevitable. Gary Gensler and the SEC are trying to keep the US looking like this, whereas other countries are looking forwards and not backwards. The US still has supremacy, but it's quickly losing it. The issue to understand, we're still very, very early, and it will be a turbulent time. This is always the way in innovation. We look at how prices have gone up with crypto just recently, but you can see when mass adoption comes, oh my goodness, it's going to be unbelievable. The reason that Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, and to a lesser degree Ethereum Classic, are rallying is because of Gary Gensler. The EDX institutional exchange will be handling trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. And when you think about Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum Classic is kind of the Bitcoin Cash to Bitcoin. It's rallying because if Ethereum goes in, there is a probability that EDX will put Ethereum Classic in as well, just as it put Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin in. The crypto market has been looking really good, and look at Litecoin, up 26.9%. Well done, Litecoin. We saw some really interesting things inside the crypto market. Just draw your attention to this area and this sell-off with Bitcoin. This sell-off with Bitcoin was because the SEC came out and said, who is the custodian? Who's holding the money? It's Coinbase. And as soon as that came out, the market started to rally again. But I want to draw your attention to these two twin peaks. These two twin peaks are occurring at 31,000 smart money resistance and 31,200. The significance of this, we've been trying to get through that 31,000 and 31,200 level for at least a little bit over a week. That 31,000 level was very important. This is a smart money level. To get through a smart money level, there must be enough buyers and not enough sellers to suppress price. We were just about to get through it. And what did the SEC do? It said, oh, I understand market structure, so I'm going to take it down at this particular level. And they did so. That's what caused this big spike down. You might notice that the shorts were already getting prepared for some bad news. They were getting into the market. And when that bad news came out about the SEC, they just went nuts. We can see that the long's confidence was knocked down in the process. It was definitely very, very good timing or very bad timing, whatever way you look at it, by the SEC, because if we had have got across that 31,000 and the 31,200 mark, there wasn't much resistance, much smart money resistance above that. Bitcoin and the totality of crypto would have just taken off. The shorts were getting absolutely hammered, then the longs got hammered, and then the shorts started to get hammered again. Over the past 24 hours, there were 257.53 million in total liquidations. That's quite a bit, across 77,808 positions. And when we look to the past 24 hours, total liquidations across everything, we can see about 53% were short. Then in the past 12 hours, 65% long. That was that spike down. The past 4 hours, nearly 70% short. That's the recovery. And in the past hour, about 66% short. Price is still going up. And what do we notice here? A lot of people feel that the market just goes in one direction or another direction. What we saw in yesterday's price action, the longs and shorts got equally hammered. Well, the shorts got a little bit more hammered than the longs, but the concept is it wasn't safe for either side. When we look at total crypto market cap, there was a very key level that we needed to keep our eye on. That was that $1.153 trillion mark, and we got above it, and we were doing so well. And then Gary came out and said, no, I want you to all ride horses and buggies, no newfangled cars for you. And what happened? The crypto market fell like a brick because there were so many longs in the market. The shorts didn't have too much of a hard time liquidating them. But when it came to the smart money buy area around this $1.128 trillion mark, we bounced like a Super Bowl. And that's what smart money is all about. Smart money is looking at these resistances and looking at the supports and figuring out where to scale in and scale out. I think we definitely need to produce a meme about Gary Gensler wanting to keep horses and buggies instead of those newfangled car things. It's good to keep in mind that literally 123 years ago, the streets were packed with horses and buggies. We've come a long way, but if Gary Gensler was in charge of transportation, he would force us to use a horse and buggy. Well, if he could, but he can't, so we didn't. Contrast that to just 20 years later, we see the composition of horses and buggies to cars dramatically changing. Even 10 years later, the streets were getting cleared out of horses. I raise this because people have seen a horse and a buggy, but a lot of people don't realize that was the predominant form of transportation 125 years ago. I raise this comparison because when you look through the news and you see all these incredibly large institutions getting into crypto, they're getting in because they know they want to own the future. That's where the returns are. The past is done. The future is where all the action is. We can expect some volatility in Litecoin. In 32 days, there's the halving of Litecoin. This will draw a lot of attention to Litecoin. As its current price is going up, it could have some very, very good institutional attention as well. In yesterday's video, we had a look at 2 top 100 projects, and I said, yeah, maybe you don't go to those because they look a little bit, I don't know what's the word. And what did we see with Canation? It came down 37%. It's really important, please make sure that you do your volume integrity calculations on anything that you want to get into. Turning towards the greatest gainers, top 100 past 24 hours, eCash out in front, 71.15%, well done eCash. BSV under that, Litecoin, Maker, Ethereum Classic, Woo, Neo, ZEC and EOS. The greatest losers, top 100, past 24 hours, Leo, XRP, Carver, XDC, Casper, Conflux, Stacks, Ape, and USDC. Just a very quick question for our global family. Would you like me to cover more news in the daily video? Would you like me to cover more on the mindset? Or perhaps something else? Please let me know in the comments. It's good to always remember that the market pays you for synchronization. You pay the market when you're desynchronized. If you find the market goes in an unexpected direction, don't let that desynchronize you. Just say, I got it, that's a learning experience, and then just try to dig in a little bit deeper and see what you can learn for next time. We're getting close to markup time. That means that all of these 27 charts will be reformed with the CTKS method, and if you're marking up your own charts, make sure you audit every period. Focusing in primarily on the Tier 1 charts is the best way to proceed. Then expand your analysis to Tier 2 and Tier 3. The different tiers are time released, and each tier will have a video explaining the likely and potential movements under three-dimensional risk management for the coming month. It's the culmination of mindset and knowledge that will really make the difference, and I want to thank Oscar Bollinger again for his very kind offering of a CTKS partial masterclass scholarship. To be eligible, please use the link in the description of this video. You can see we're talking about Forex in this particular chart for this particular data, but a lot of concepts are in here. The average gain versus the average loss. If you have an average gain less than your average loss, you're in trouble already. You want to seek to reverse this polarity. You want a greater average gain than your average loss. Just something to focus on. It doesn't matter what particular platform you are on. Nothing shields you from losses except emotional control and knowledge. That's why, literally, knowledge and experience make the difference. Start small and scale. When approaching your trades or investments, you want to focus as much as possible on learning. Be really flexible. Don't just assume one position. The market must go up or the market must go down. With three-dimensional risk management, you know the price is always moving in a wave. It can do anything. So be aware and be prepared for anything. The next thing is to just build your knowledge house, the house of your knowledge, from the blueprints through all of the different facets, making sure that you've got a very strong understanding of what you're doing. The stronger your understanding, the better your grasp will be of the market and what the market does. It's very important to realize the market just does what the market wants to do. Your job as an investor or a trader is to understanding of how to react to when price goes against you, goes all over the place. That's the key. It's really important to take the pressure off yourself. Don't worry about being right or being wrong. Just focus on learning as much as you possibly can. Always focus on doing better the next time. To keep our mindset really positive and create better habits, thereby creating a better life, we have the CTKS Creed, and these are just daily positive affirmations for abundance, financial success, and happiness. The I in these statements is you, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's read them out. I know the universe wants me to succeed. Every day I show kindness, integrity, and gratitude. I know opportunities in life reset daily. I am worthy, I go slow to go fast. I start small and scale with Borsog. Life pullbacks give me the strength for the next life rally. I am dedicated and committed. I win or learn and never blame, and I never let a problem beat me because I solve it with positive excellence. All results that you get from your life come from your mind, and a better mind creates better outcomes. The path to create a better mind is just to create better habits. And getting into the habit of knowing that this universe wants you to succeed, that you are rewarded for what you put in, is a really good place to start. As human beings, we must learn. Learning is the secret spice to success. In order to learn, we must not blame, but instead we must be kind to ourselves. By definition, being kind to others is also really important. You'll get plenty of challenges in life, but with your persistence and commitment, you will get through them. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again tomorrow. Bye for now.